we can beat anybody, and we showed that tonight.
Right. Who's got a question? Carl, why don't you start?
Congratulations, Stephanie. What was the difference between Thursday's game? Nothing seemed to go right, and then today, everything came together. You all played together well, and everybody shot well. What was the difference?
We came out with energy right away, and I think when you don't let teams get off to a great start and let the basket start looking really big from the jump, I think that's big. So we came out hard from the jump and didn't, wait till the third quarter to try to pick it up and come back. We just came out with that energy like we needed to start the game. So.
Was there some soul searching after that Florida State loss?
1000%. We all came together and just said, it was unacceptable from all of us. Like, we just all pointed inward and, figured out what we could all do better. And I think a big thing was communication for us. We were communicating better as a team and decided that the main thing that matters, everything else is details. The main thing that matters is coming out with energy and just locking in from the jump. So
let's go with Aaron and then Eve, and please mute if you're not talking.
Hey, Stephanie, you guys had won one game since December 20th, and you just touched on the Florida State game, but how difficult has these past few weeks been for you guys, just trying to sort things out and kind of come out with one of these types of performances?
I think every day in practice was just a grind, because we know we're a talented group, and we know it's a lot of new people coming together and putting pieces together. So a lot of teams level off by this point, and we realize we're still getting better at this point. There's a lot of new pieces still coming together, and we realize by the time we start gelling and really coming together, we can be great, and we realize that. So we just knew we just needed to keep coming together, keep working hard every day, and good things will happen for us.
Eve, go ahead.
Yeah, what was going through your mind in the third quarter when NC State started fighting back, and how did you turn things around from there?
I think the main thing going through my head at that point was we've came too far and we're not losing this game. So we just looked at each other and said, hey, let's dig deep right here, right now. We've come too far to lose this game, and we got to come out of here with a win. So I think at that point, it was just who was going to play harder, who was going to dig deep, who was going to make the extra hustle plays. And I think we were able to pull that out.
All right, James, did you have a question, or does anybody else have a question for Stephanie? Okay, RL, go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay.
I know.
You're muted. RL, you're muted.
It was 2 years ago that you all went to Raleigh on Super Bowl Sunday and beat a top 10 NC State team. What is it about you guys in NC State? No matter how well they're playing, you guys bring a big effort.
And we talk about that. We're like, no matter how, whatever the season's going up and down, whatever, me and JB are like, we figure it out when it comes to State. And we always seem to bring our A game, and I think that's part of the whole UNC rivalry here. We consider our main rivals Duke, but it's down the road. We want to beat them. We want to show we are the team in Carolina. So we told the team about that. No matter how the season's going, we figure out a way to pull it out against State, and we did that again. So we're just excited.
Could you speak to Alyssa's game today as well?
Alyssa's just someone who works hard every day. I'm not surprised. She's a great freshman, and sometimes I don't think she realizes how good she is, and that's part of our job as teammates, just trying to make her realize that, and take the shots she needs to take. And she's always in the gym, so it doesn't surprise any of us. That's just how she's going to come out and play, and that's how she can play. So
thank you.
Yep. Thank you,
Stephanie. I believe we will have Alyssa in the hot seat next. There she is.
Hello.
Ustby. Which pronunciation? Just forget the T. So it's just Ustby. And Alyssa, if you could give a few thoughts on the game, that would be great. And then we'll take questions.
Yeah, so I thought this game was it was a battle, and it couldn't have been accomplished without everybody working together and trusting one another.
Aaron, go ahead. Aaron.
Hey, Alyssa, I don't think you had made but 6 of 23 threes this year. It hadn't really gone down for you, and that's true of the whole team. Nobody had really shot particularly well from behind the arc. You guys hit 11 threes, you hit 4. Kind of what helped you guys with the outside shooting today?
I think it started with just winning the paint and kicking to an extra teammate, and just playing with confidence was a big thing. And I felt like a lot of our perimeter players really stepped up tonight with that confidence.
James?
Hey, Alyssa, I just want to know what was your mentality in the third quarter when you kind of couldn't get off the same shot selections that you had in the first half? What did you do to get back on track?
Yeah, well, for starters, I didn't want to force any shots. So I started by getting rebounds, getting assists, trying to my best to get steals, playing good defense, and then coming with that,
they're all out.
Shots will come with that. So really just doing the little things, and then I knew my shot was going to follow. So getting open shots would just come with a little more time as we progress through the third quarter.
Thank you.
Ryan?
Yeah, Alyssa, you guys have beaten NC State each of the last 3 years. Obviously, you weren't there for the first two, but what have your teammates told you about this rivalry and what it's like?
Yeah, so before the game, we're talking about how honorable it is to play in such a great rivalry, and we all really stepped up to the challenge together and got it done. And personally, I knew how important it was to the rest of my teammates, so I took this rivalry very seriously and just tried my best to help my team come out with a win.
Aaron, did you have another question? No? All right. Then I think we're good.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Alyssa.
Hey. Hey, guys. Sorry, I got
All
a
right.
bath here.
If you thoughts on the game, that would be great, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, boy, really happy for these guys. They, we've been really stressing over the last 3 days the importance of moving the ball, and so we adjusted our secondary to allow for that. I really tried to simplify it a little bit for them, and I, implored that the ball movement and how many assists you get individually matters, and it just made a huge difference. I thought we felt like our energy, as I know you all know, last week wasn't very good, and it's just we're better than that. And I said, prove it. And they proved it, and we're just going to keep getting better. So that's what we're supposed to do.
Lawrence?
Lawrence, you ready, buddy? Unmute yourself, man.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So each of the last 3 years, you guys have been able to beat NC State. Talk about the feeling that it is to kind of knock off that rival and then to be able to celebrate with your family. You had that beautiful moment at the end of the game to celebrate with your family. Can you talk about all of that kind of coming together, especially after taking a loss like earlier in the week to Florida State?
Yeah, I really do. I lean on the program to help me understand the power of that rivalry, right? And when you get so many text messages on the day of the game from other coaches and from alums saying it's basically it's the state game, I just challenged them from the beginning that these rivalry games are a sacred part of sports. And there's an increased familiarity, and if you've never come to a women's basketball game and you don't care about women's basketball, you ask, did you beat state? And we know that. And so I sort of told them that this is for the institution, it's for our program, it's for our tradition, and you have to honor that with your energy, and they did that. So my kids started the day by getting a jump man. You probably saw it on social media. We carved a jump man into one of their kids' heads, and we carved a UNC in the other boy. So they woke up ready to beat NC State, and I was glad to celebrate with them for a minute on the court.
Bridget, go ahead.
Coach, just what did you see from Alyssa tonight, and how big was her her play in your guys' win?
We knew that we were going to have to play smaller against NC State because they can really spread you out, and so we were going to had to move her to the starting four with Malou out, and we were preparing to do that anyway. We knew that we couldn't play two bigs with their mobility and length, and so. I give credit to Alyssa. She spent a lot of time in the gym over the last 72 hours figuring out where her looks were going to come from. And it changes a little bit in what she's been doing. We really implore that she catch a shot ready because she's going to be guarded by a four who's used to guarding more post players, especially when you play Carolina. That kid does what you see from that kid is not just on game day. That's how she is all the time. She takes her craft very seriously. She's thrilled to continue to get better, and she's a kid you guys are going to love watching over the next 4 or 5 years.
Aaron?
Hey, Courtney, you guys had won, I think, one game since December 20th. There'd been little losses and, games where you guys didn't play the way you wanted to. How difficult has that stretch been, and trying to sort of get this group to respond with a performance like this?
Yeah, I hope with how they played today, you see that it's actually, this is a group I've been celebrating them, that they've really learned how to do hard together. We've been kind of joking that before the Notre Dame game that we won a couple weeks ago, we told them, we built a lot of houses. Now we got to put the lights in it, so we got to start making shots, right? And then before this game, we had mentioned that, good teams keep getting better, and that's how they're defined, right? And we just kept getting better. And if we could just play as hard as we practice, we'll be all right. And the switch went on for them today. That they knew how hard they were going to have to play based on what they did the last game out. So, I went into the last game, right after the film. So Friday after the Florida State game, and I took a piece of paper and I crumpled it up and I said, we're not going to watch any film on Florida State. You didn't play hard enough to really warrant that. We're just going to throw it in the trash can, and we're going to move on to NC State. And we moved right on to NC State. And so they locked in for the last 72 hours and showed it.
To follow up, just one other thing, the 3-point shooting, you guys hit a season high today, and a lot of good, clean looks you made. Was that what you were talking about, the tweak that maybe players got comfortable with where they got the ball?
Yeah, I think some of it was systematic in terms of what we shifted some of our secondary, so the looks that we were going to get from that. And then also it was, like you said, we got good looks. There were shots, as I always say, take shots when you practice. That's good. So instead of driving to the paint and then putting a drive on top of another drive, allow the spacing to come back out and contract and expand the defense. So, it was partly schematic, and also, we have to be able to make open shots, and we did that.
Eve?
At the end of the third quarter, when State went on a run to take the lead, what did you tell the team going into the fourth quarter to help get back their momentum?
Yeah, I said to Eve, I said to the team at the end of the start of the fourth, I said, how tired are you of losing games in the fourth quarter? And they were like, yeah. And I said, then show me. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of losing games in the fourth quarter. And if you don't think you can win this game, stay on the bench, because we're going with the guy. I think we can win this game, so I'm going to stand up. And if you think you can win this game, stand up and run out there. So yeah, I think we just sort of kept the feet on the gas instead of being tentative.
RL?
Congratulations on the win. Can you talk about your approach at point guard? Even when Deja was in and she wasn't necessarily the point guard, it seemed like it was point guard by committee, and it seemed like the chemistry offensively was the best it's been in a few games.
Yeah, Toddy is moved the ball. I thought she moved the ball really well for us today, and the ball didn't really stick in hands. And again, partly it was schematic, so I've given them something that now they have no choice but to move it, so that I've kind of taken that out of their hands, and that's helped. But yeah, I thought Toddy came up really big. Deja's coming off a bit of an illness, so she hasn't practiced, and there's a lot to have her not practice and then play. I didn't know how much energy she was going to be able to have. And so I thought Todd came up huge and moved the ball really well for us.
James, did you have a question?
Yes. Hey, Coach. You had your starting five. Everyone scored at least 9 or more points. Can you talk to me how they set the tone for the game and how it continued on?
Yeah, I thought defensively and offensively, it was a game of they knew they had to lock in, and every possession mattered. It's how you have to approach winning. It's how you have to approach rivalry games, especially when you're playing in that top 5 team in the country. A bad shot's a turnover. Giving up a layup is now a hill you have to climb. And so, you go with, in coaching, you go with the group that gives you the best chance to win. And if a lineup looks good, you stick with it when you can, and you sub in for rest. And so it was a game that I told them, like, you're going to need me to make the right decision every time too. So I'm in, are you guys in? And I thought, right on down the roster, we all made good decisions today.
All right, everybody good?
Thank you.
Yeah, what was your approach against Kunan? She obviously got into foul trouble. Did you guys want to go at her early?
Kunan, we knew was really good. We were going to try to a lot of things. We were going to try to make her finish 1v1 in the low post. We were going to try to dig if we were close enough to. We weren't going to obsess on her because hers are worth 2 and everybody else's are worth 3. They shoot the ball so well as a team typically. And so I think if you over obsess on one, you obviously you limit, you don't have as much on everybody else. So we played a lot of the averages there. Janelle did a great job. She does a great job with Kuning because she's really smart, and some of the stuff that Janelle does defensively off the ball, even in some of that crackback action and stuff, people who don't really know basketball, which is totally fine. But she just does so many things defensively. She's so smart, and really happy for her, even though, the stats show something else. It was a huge game for her once again.
Thank you.
Right.
Of course.
Thanks, everybody.
You're gonna send photos?